Hello guys, welcome to my channel Life with Kimsey. Today I want to show you how they make commercial buff. You know, even amagwinya, all this buff that you buy from the street and everything. So you need a cup of water, warm water, and to activate your yeast if it's not active yeast, right? But if it's active yeast, no need to activate it. But in most cases, it's always better to use active yeast so that it rises fast. To activate your yeast so that it rises faster. All right, so I'm gonna mix this together, stir it together like this until everything is properly dissolved. All right, so if you're making buff at home, it's different from the one that you buy from the road. That's why not even from the road or from supermarkets and everywhere else. The reason why is because they manage their ingredients. So this is about 10 cups of flour. This is all-purpose flour, by the way, right? And I'm going in with a pinch of salt first, before I go in with everything. So always make sure that you put a little bit of salt, right? And then I've gone in with my 1 cup of powdered milk, right? The measurements are quite much, right, for commercial buff. But if you're really thinking of starting to sell buff, or you are wondering how do they make buff on the road, even on the streets, from the supermarkets, parties, and everything for weddings, this is how they really actually make it, right? So I've already I've already put my powdered milk, and then I'm just mixing like the last batch here, right? And then this is my yeast now. I'm just gonna put in my yeast. So remember, I've already put sugar, salt, milk, and my yeast. So I'm just gonna mix this together and just keep adding water gradually until I get the perfect texture that I'm looking for, right? So if you know Nigerian buff, they also add all those your nutmeg. They add a lot of stuff. You can add milk flavor. You can add everything. But this is typically what they make, what you buy from your filling stations, from your supermarkets, from everywhere else, right? Because definitely they can't make it the way we make it at home, because at home you really make sure that you put all the ingredients. Like I go as hard as putting chocolate chips sometimes. You can actually put your chocolate chips, you can put your coconut chips, you can literally put anything that you really want. Sometimes I make buff with cream, so that's what I'm saying. But today's video is mainly focusing on how to make commercial buff, right? Anybody can make it. If you've never tried it before, I guarantee you can try this recipe and you will thank me later. But please make sure that you follow me, you subscribe, you comment, and you like, and please share my content. If you probably like buff and then your wife does not know how to make it, your sisters don't know how to make it, your girlfriend or whoever you live with, please make sure you send them this video, because this video is like the most simplest video I've ever done. I did this video, even it's an outside video, it's not an indoor video. So you see there's reason here. This is like after about 45 minutes. So you really always need to make sure that everything that you're using for cooking, as I always say, is super clean. So I've already put my frying pan on the gas, and then I'm going in with a lot of cooking oil, because buff uses a lot of cooking oil. So please make sure you do enjoy the rest of the video, and make sure you subscribe. All right, don't forget to subscribe. Actually, let me take a second so that you subscribe before I start frying this baby for you. All right, subscribe. Thank you so much. Right, so I've already washed my hand. Now I'm just gonna show you how I cut it and I fry it. So don't even really worry too much about the shape here. If you want your mixture to be a bit thicker, you can just add a little bit of flour if you feel like it's too soft. But like I say, this is commercial ones. Commercial buff is always like extremely fluffy, and there's like literally nothing inside. That's why you can even feel like having 20 of them or 30 of them and you not really feel anything. Back home in South Africa and Zimbabwe, the way they fry buff, it is so big. If you eat like one or two, you feel so full. But in Nigeria, like their own is very tiny, like size of a teaspoon. Right, so that's why normally if you buy this buff, you always feel like, okay, you can even have more than 10, because it's so tiny and it's just fluffy. It feels like actually nothing is inside. So this is how they make it, right? And they don't even, because if you watch my other buff recipes, you'll see that before I start frying it, I will actually beat the flour again, and everything will just now really go down again, and then I start frying it. In that way, you make sure that there is a lot of flour inside, there is a lot of food inside the flour. But the way I am frying today, I'm just like scooping it directly as it is risen, and I start frying it. So that's how they make the commercial ones. So you really also want to make sure that you keep on turning this so that you will not stick around. So actually this is what it looks like, and you can give this recipe a try. I really guarantee you, if you try this recipe and it comes out perfect, please come and watch more recipes, because I post like the most simplest recipes ever. And if there's anything that you want to learn how to cook or how to make, you can just also write in my comment section and request on a video, right? And please make sure you follow me on my socials. You follow me on my TikTok, follow me on my Facebook, on my Instagram, Life with Kimsey everywhere. If you just type Life with Kimsey, I pop up from all platforms, right? And I really, really do appreciate your support, guys. And I started this YouTube in March, and I can really see that I'm almost like around 800 subscribers, and I am so, so, so grateful. I really, at the beginning of this, I used to beg people, please, can you go and subscribe to my video? But right now, people are just coming to my page effortlessly, and they're subscribing without even me begging and me asking. And I really, really want to say I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. And please, I do not take your support for granted. And I thank you so much for being part of my journey, and I hope we'll make memories together. And if that is why, if I keep saying, if there's anything that you want to learn, let me know, then I can really, really assist you. I am really open to assisting people because I'm still new, and all my services are for free. So if you want, you can actually write me on my Facebook, you can write me on my Instagram. I will be there to answer you. So this is the second batch of the buff buff. You can see this one is just slightly bigger, right? So I'm just trying to show you guys the different sizes of the buff buff. So let me tell you something also that you can do in case you have a sweet tooth like me, a terrible sweet tooth. If you have whipped cream, or if you have heavy cream, or if you just have icing sugar at home, right? You can just take a little bit of, you can take icing sugar, let me just say 1 cup of icing sugar and 1 tablespoon of water, and just mix it together and dip your buff buff inside that icing sugar. That's either gonna actually taste like donuts, right? So please just try that and get back to me. So guys, my next videos, I want to start baking cakes. So like I said, I want to show people how to bake cakes step by step by step by step, without leaving anything out. And I want to make my Christmas cake now, and I want to make my sponge cake, my vanilla cake, chocolate cake, red velvet cake, everything, right? And I also want to make my tiramisu cake on. I've never actually like recorded a video of myself making cakes, but I've been making cakes for the past 10 years. So guys, please make sure you subscribe. I'll say it one more time before I leave this video, and the video is almost done. So the buff buff, I guess, is actually coming out right, and it tastes so yummy because of the sugar, right?